I just experienced something and I felt like it's time for me to record this and share this. So this is why I am going to say whatever I'm going to say. My eyes might be looking a little, well, whatever. It is what it is. I was crying just now. I just stopped crying a while back, so maybe my eyes are a little puffy or whatever. But something really beautiful happened, and it's happened a couple of times before, and I felt like sharing it. So what happened is I was practicing my vocal exercises, and after my vocal exercises, I don't know how to play the Casio. I've not formally learned it yet, and sometimes I just like to, for fun, just play certain melodies, whatever flows out of me. And what happened is that I played a melody and it felt so powerfully, it resonated with me so powerfully, even though if I have to talk about it, I can't talk about it because I don't know what notes or chords or the technical language. I don't know any of it. I just knew that when I played it, it felt so right, it felt so good, and it felt like home. And I might cry again, but it felt like home, and that it was so relaxing. It felt like a warm hug. It felt like a bed hug. And this has happened a couple of times before, wherein I hadn't even gotten to music at that point of time, but I was probably cleaning because this Casio was kept in my brother's room, and so I used to go clean and stuff like that, and I used to end up playing a bit of music whatever flowed through me, and it's happened. And at that moment I had attributed those experiences to, oh, maybe I'm overwhelmed, or maybe I'm around my periods, I'm overly emotional right now, and that's why this is happening. But it feels like something else. And today after I stopped crying, I was reminded of another time when I had experienced the same experience in a different way. So a couple of years back, when I was towards the end of my PhD, I was reading this book by Dr. Miller, The Spiritual Child, because I was quoting her research and her whatever she had written in her book. And it used to happen only with her book that when I used to read it, I used to just randomly, tears started to roll down my eyes, and it just, sometimes I used to bawl my eyes out, and because it was the research findings and the way she writes about spirituality in such a balanced, such a beautiful, practical way, it just spoke to me a lot. And today I know very, very clearly what spirituality is for me. At that time I didn't know as strongly as I do today. So that sort of makes me realize that, oh, music is a journey for me that is gonna stay. It's a journey that is gonna stay, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel grounded. It makes me feel just makes me feel good and expansive. And I know that I have a long way to go. I'm sure I have a long way to go, and I don't know how my life is going to unfold next. Anything is possible. So, but I know that music is something for me which is worth pursuing, which will be worth pursuing, because that's exactly what happened with spirituality. As a child, I was always spiritual, but I was fighting myself a lot. I had gone through a couple of things growing up which made me very, very toxic masculine, and maybe I'll talk about that in some other video. But I had made my logical, rational side very, very strong, very, very, I was clutching on rather to structure and clutching on to logic, and I was fighting my spiritual side and my creative side to a huge degree, even though through all of that my school years, my initial school years, class 1 to 10, I think I've been able to survive only because I was in the singing choir. I was, put in both the school plays that during my time that happened, I played one of the leads, because that helped me to just sail through school and to call it. I have a good experience at school because of those experiences. So it was bursting out of me. But much later during my PhD, when spirituality was one of the topics, one of the variables that I was researching on, and it was a deeply transformational time for me in life in general. I realized I started becoming more and more open to myself, to who I am, to all the other parts of me that I'd locked up and caged and pushed down. And I know that how core spirituality is to me. So if I consider all of that, music is something which, I guess 5-6 months back, like I could always sing. I had that basic ability to sing, I had the ear for it. I have been told I had the ear for it and I can sing. But moving into music as in, deliberately every day, practicing it and doing your exercises and exploring what all you can do with your voice, I just started about a month back, properly, a month and a half back properly. But before that, since January, intuitively I'd been getting that, move towards music, and I'm like, what? Why? Am I not towards acting and theater? Because 2018, that's what I did. I moved towards theater and acting, and I did a couple of short films. I directed, I wrote a stage play, and I thought that is what I was more focused on. And in Jan, when repeatedly, even though initially it was vague, as everything is, it just kept getting clearer and louder. Move towards music, and I'm like, what? okay, let's try this. And I distinctly remember talking to a friend of mine over a call, and I was telling him that this is what is intuitively telling me, like my core is telling me to move towards music. And I'm like, but I don't know what to do, where to start. Should I go to music school? Should I pick up an instrument? Should I start with my voice? There are so many things that I can do. And somewhere along the conversation, he said something which has stayed with me through the years, and not through the years, through the months. Wow. Aries brain wants to rush everything. Anyway, so yeah, something he told me, he said that it stuck to me through months, and he said that everybody does the school thing because he's learned the piano. So and I was telling him, should I start doing that? And he's like, yeah, everybody does the school thing, that's the conventional way. But for some people, what's the fun in that? What's the fun in the conventional way? Maybe it's something else. And it stayed with me, and I'm very deliberate in the way that I move, so I don't believe in rushing and grasping onto things anymore. So it kind of ties into what I'm experiencing right now. Maybe down the line I will professionally, formally learn the Casio, but for right now, this experience feels so surreal, and it feels so beautiful and a lot of times it's come to me in my dreams, like on my alpha brainwave state, in my almost awake brain state, or before you can check out what alpha brain state is. I cannot suddenly switch off the scientist in me, so the alpha brainwave state. It's come to me that you are remembering music and you are not learning it from scratch. And it's really scary for me to share this vulnerably, openly with everybody, because even I don't know completely what it means. But I'm clear that I'm not learning music. For me, it's like I'm remembering it. And even that is a journey. I still need to go through certain motions within myself, within my energy, to be able to reproduce or even remember and recollect uh, what I have maybe in some point of time, at some point of time, learned and explored and achieved, mastered maybe. I don't know, but this is what it feels like, and I just wanted to record this for maybe myself, maybe whoever is listening, maybe this resonates with you, but this is the truth of my journey, and I want to record this, and I want to keep this. Yeah, thank you for listening.